Have you ever heard of a bronze medalist making front page news? Well, in 1968, John made the front page of newspapers worldwide. Usually, you don't even read about the bronze medalists or even hear about them in the days following their performance. But John did something that would forever be written in the history books. John was born and raised in Harlem, New York. He was gifted as student athlete in high school, and following graduation he attended East Texas State University on a track and field scholarship. After a year at East Texas State, John decided to transfer to San Jose State University. John attended San Jose State during the late 1960s at the time of the revolt of the black athlete. This was symbolized by the university canceling its opening day football game due to a boycott of black student athletes. At the time, John was a world-class sprinter and student member of the San Jose State United Black Students for Action. As a track and field athlete, John was not directly affected by the student boycott of the football game. He continued to successfully compete and was chosen for the American Olympic team that will participate in Mexico City in 1968. John helped found the Olympic Project for Human Rights, along with his former San Jose State athlete Harry Edwards, for the specific purpose of boycotting the 1968 Olympic Games. John did not participate in the boycott, though. Instead, he won the bronze medal in the 200-meter dash. However, he did record his own protests at the Games. After receiving the bronze medal, John, from the winner's podium, raised his black gloved fist along with his fellow teammate. After shocking the world with his rebellious act, John was suspended from the Olympic Village and given 48 hours to return to the United States. Later, he was banned from amateur athletics and received many death threats. His protest made news headlines across the world and would remain a topic of discussion for the months to come. This protest reached across both the sports and political worlds. This was one of the few times that sports and politics had intertwined. John had become one of the many athletes who used their celebrity to bring the light to the social injustice in America, and he would pay for it. But here's the rest of the story. With this protest, John created an easier path for black athletes to follow in amateur and professional sports. In 1969, his ban was lifted, and John had his best year in track and field. He helped lead the San Jose State to its first NCAA championship. After graduating from San Jose State in 1970, John briefly played professional football with the Philadelphia Eagles of the National Football League and the Montreal Alouettes and Toronto Argonauts in the Canadian Football League. During his retirement, he worked for Puma and United States Olympic Committee, also working in 1984 with the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles as an organizer. In 1985, John began working as a counselor and track and field coach at Palm Springs High School in California, where he holds the same position today. John was inducted into the USA Track and Field Hall of Fame in 2003, 35 years after the protest. In 2005, a statue showing John and his Olympic teammate on his medal stand was created and dedicated on the campus of San Jose State University. John was a torchbearer for the Human Rights Torch during the 2008 Summer Olympics Games. The torch run was in response to China's record for social injustice. A few months later, John and his teammates accepted the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage and their salute at the 2008 ESPY Awards. John continues to speak at many social events today. John was once an outcast and a rebel amongst the track and field community. From being stripped of his medals and receiving death threats, John's future as an athlete and citizen didn't look promising. Now John is looked at as one of the most influential athletes of his time and has been mentioned in the company of the greatest leaders of the civil rights movement. John Carlos will forever be remembered for his single lifted fist in protest at the 1968 Olympics in Mexico City. It is an image that resonates in the minds of Americans today. Now you know the rest of the story.